Hey guys, in sunny St. Pete, Florida today. Highly recommended actually, St. Pete Beach. Beautiful place. I wanted to tell you about a couple meetings that I had yesterday, not the full thing, just a little summary, and then I want to tell you a punchline of what I think you can take from these meetings that would just game change the way you look at automation and efficiency. This is particularly relevant because of what's going on with the economy this week, right? We've got a potential short-term recession on our hands, nothing like '08, probably more similar to something like 9/11, something like that. Talked to the chief economist at Wells Fargo, former, I guess I should say, and he said we're just probably looking at a little bit of slow growth over the next couple of quarters, or negative growth, over the next couple of quarters, and then slow growth after that. But if you have to let go of any of your staff right now, here's something that, or over the next few months, here's something that I think will help you, okay? So, a couple meetings yesterday, and they both had one thing in common. They both had not enough net profit, right? Less than 15% net profit. And they want to get more profitable, but they don't know how. They're kind of stuck, right? And when we're talking about it, and, you know, obviously, I'm from a consultative perspective, I'm there, and they tend to kind of spitball. Both of them kind of spitballing around, well, maybe it could be this, or maybe it could be that, or I don't know, it just hasn't really worked, whatever we've tried to improve this net profit. And the commonality that I see in most people is they're thinking of the big things. They're thinking of the really big things. They're thinking of like layoffs and people and those things will change the fabric of your organization immediately, right? If you fire people. Or they're thinking of like really big processes. Now, I want you to think about it like this, because Einstein said that you can't use the same thinking that you got into a problem with to get out of the problem. So there has to be a paradigm shift. There has to be an epiphany. You can't spitball your way into like figuring out how to double EBITDA. That's not going to happen. So here's the best way I can explain it for today. Picture a book, and you see a sentence in the book, right? Just words, 10 words. The words are the big things, but it's the white space in between the words that's the real challenge. That's where you got to start. You got to start with how the big things are connected, right? Gentleman yesterday said to me, he said, well, 80% of our organization is just these people, these guys that go out and do this construction work, right? And they just go do the work, and we just charge hourly for the work. So I don't think there's really anything getting automated in our business. There's not a ton of admin. And it's like, well, you might only think there's a few big things, again, those words on the page, but there's white space in between them, right? So the questions I would ask, other than doing a pie chart, which if you've listened to anything I say, you know I'm a huge fan of building pie charts. The question I would ask is, okay, well, you got all these guys. How do they know where to be? How do they know where to go? How do they get the information about each job? How do they know how to do the job most efficiently? How do they know how to potentially do the job twice as fast? What are the things that would catalyze how quickly they're able to help the customer and get off the job and on to the next one? If they were to get off the job faster, how would they go to the next job, right? If you were able to speed them up so much that they got through jobs faster, do you even have more jobs for them to do, right? Like the training and acumen and knowledge and systems is all in the white space. It's not in the big things, right? Like those things are totally obvious, and you would have figured that out a long time ago if that's what it was, right? You don't double your EBITDA today by doing obvious stuff. Like business people are the most educated people on the planet, right? When it comes to systems and stuff. So like you would have already known if it was something obvious. It's going to be the totally hidden stuff, right? You're not going to be just dazzled by something that just slaps you across the face likely. And this is going to take a totally different type of thinking, right? But the easiest way to conceptualize it, as opposed to, just me being able to sit there with you and do it, is just think about not the big stuff, but how the big stuff all connects or communicates. The white space in between. That's what you need to think about. The white space in between. Now that super matters right now because with coronavirus causing fear in the market, stocks are down, everything's down. Some industries are getting hit really bad, like the cruise lines, etc. You've really got to think about, maybe it's not even going to affect you directly, but it might affect your customers. If it affects your customers and they stop buying more, you've got to figure out how to get more technologified tomorrow, today, yesterday. This is super relevant. We'll probably produce a lot more videos over the next week just talking more about what you can do, what you can think about. But hope this is helpful. Stick to the white space. It's not the obvious stuff. You're going to have to change the paradigm. Einstein. Talk to you later.